Hi guys, this is a short presentation we're going to do on the Swiss Rifle Club. It's a range orientation for new members or for anybody that might be interested in joining. Gives you an idea of the range and how we operate. This is the agenda. We're going to go over a short history of the APRA and the Swiss Club. We'll look at membership types. We'll do a review of our website, how that works. Look at the range, layout, safety, events, equipment that the club owns. So the Alberta Provincial Rifle Association is a not-for-profit. It was established in 1902. So for those of you that don't know, that was before Alberta became a province. The main functions of the APRA is to hold the lease. It maintains the Homestead Road, which is the main road that all the clubs use, and the main gate. It also provides us with liability insurance for all our members and board members. The APRA board is composed of 2 members per club, and they meet on a monthly basis. And every year there's an annual AGM, normally in January, so all members can attend the AGM and are encouraged to. There's 4 clubs with about 1,800 members. There's the Swiss Rifle Club Calgary. There's the Alberta Full Bore Rifle Association, AFRA. Full Bore is a long-distance F-class shooting club, just located just down from our range. So they shoot up to 900 meters. During the summer months, there's matches about every 2 weeks. There's Buffalo Target Shooters, BTSA, predominantly a handgun range. That's adjacent to our range. They have about 900 members. And the Rosebud Bench Rest and Silhouette Club. So Rosebud specializes in bench rest shooting. It's technical, high-precision shooting at 1 and 200 yards. And Silhouette, where you shoot metal targets up to 600 yards. So when you're a member of the APRA, you pay $50 a year to join the APRA. And if you're in more than one club, you don't have to pay that a second time. It covers you for 1 or more clubs. The Swiss Rifle Club, we sort of pride ourselves on being friendly, safe, and clean. Our hours of operation are all year long and during daylight hours. So we don't have any night shooting, but from sunrise to sunset, you can use the range. As well, we try to keep it open all year, so it's the roads are all plowed in the parking lot as well when we can. The history of the club, it was started about 30 years ago by Swiss immigrants. We're also a not-for-profit, so what that really means is all the money that we raise is plowed back into the club. There's no salaries for anybody. It goes back into the club for maintenance and upgrades and equipment. The whole club is operated by volunteers, and we have an executive board as well, made up of our members. Everybody's encouraged to apply. And we also have an AGM that you can attend, and that's in April. Give you an idea of the location. From the western part of the city, it's roughly 35 to 40 minutes to get to the range. So we have 3 different membership types. Most of you will have bought the single membership, but you can also add family members. You can add your spouse if you have one, and children in between 12 and 25 years old. So in total, you can add 3 additional members. Also, any family member that's 18 years or older and has a PAL has the same privileges as the primary member. So they could, for example, go on their own. We also have a seniors membership. That's available for people that are at least 70 years old and have been in the club for 5 years or more. As far as the guest procedure goes, you can buy your guest passes online, or you can pay in cash. There's envelopes located in the register at the range. The cost is $20 each, and you can bring up to 2 people at once. All guests have to wear an ID badge, and those badges are located in the register box. The Swiss Club uses a scheduler to manage people at the range. Everybody going to the range, whether it's you, your family, or guests, needs to reserve a spot before they go. It's very easy to use. You can book 7 days in advance, and if you decide not to go, we require you to cancel your reservation so somebody can use that spot. If you're attending a Swiss event, like a Swiss match or some sort of competition or training, it's not required to reserve a spot. That will be done for you by the event organizer. The first thing you're going to do is log in, and this is the screen you're going to come to. Then you're going to click on reservation. This will bring you to the reservation system. You're going to pick a date. So let's say I'm going to go on Friday. So here I can see there's somebody in Rifle Bay 9 from 12 to 5 p.m. Let's say I want to go from 9 o'clock for a few hours. So from 9 till noon. And then I can just confirm my booking. Very easy to make. If you need to cancel your reservation, go back into the system, click on your reservation, cancel the booking, and it's out of there. That's all there is to it. The Swiss range is about 50 years old. At that time, there was a small building with probably about 20 members, and they used to come and shoot classic Swiss shooting using K31 rifles. Originally, the only targets were back at the 300 meter point where you see those numbers. Later on, we added a rimfire target frame, which is that bale of hay in the lower right, and then a 100 and 200 meter firing point using wooden frames. After a while, we realized that wasn't enough, so we did a major upgrade in 2022. So now you can see we have improved road access, an expanded building. On the left, you can see the handgun range with its own parking. That retainer wall, which leads you to a proposed archery bay. On the right, you can see the rifle range. In the bottom, the 50 meter target frame, followed by the 100 meter target frame, the 200 meter, and then at the back, 300 meters. We improved the road on the left, so it's a lot straighter and flatter, easier to get our snow plowing equipment to the back, and then you can drive up to each frame. A big thing about the APRA is management of the gates. So there's 3 gates you need to know about. The main gate, as you first come in, is a shared gate by all the clubs. And you need to make sure that this gate is either locked open or locked closed. So it can't just be swinging around in the wind. It has to be one or the other. If it's locked open, it'll be locked using this device here. So you couldn't actually close it yourself. It'll be locked open. If it's locked closed, then open the gate, drive through, and lock it behind you. But at all times, that gate needs to be either locked open or closed, not just swinging. The next gate is the Swiss club gates. You're going to drive down the road about 1 kilometer, and you'll get to the Swiss gate. If there's an event going on, that gate will be open, so you can just leave it alone. If it's locked when you get there, just unlock it, drive through, and lock it behind you. That's the process for that. And then, of course, on our range, at 300 meters, we have that road going up there. So that gate is locked all the time. If you have a ceasefire, you can certainly go down there. You can open it, drive through, lock it behind you, drive to the end, set up your targets, come back, and drive through, lock it behind you. But that gate is essentially locked all the time. As far as flags go, when you first get to the range, you'll be in the upper parking lot here. You'll see a flagpole, and there's a flag that you can move up and down. So when you get there, if there's nobody else there, you need to raise that red flag. When you leave, if you're the last person, make sure you take that flag and lower it down. So that flag indicates that the range is in use. The next thing you're going to do is, after you've raised that flag, is you're going to sign into this register here. So it's attached to the building. You're going to sign in, put your name and ID and the time and date in there. And then same thing for your visitors or family members. They're going to sign in as well. That makes sure that your insurance policy is activated. It's also a federal law that we have this register. So we keep this for 7 years. Make sure when you're on the range that you always wear your membership ID. So you can pin it on yourself, or we're going to give you a lanyard. You can wear it around your neck. But you always need to have that to indicate you're a member of our range. And same for guests. We have those visitor badges, so they would wear one of those as well. We want you to bring your own targets, bring a stapler, and use the backstop that we provide. So don't put your targets on the support beams. You can't put targets on top of berms. You can't use reactive targets or explosive targets like tannerite. You can't bring your own gongs. You can use our gongs, but you can't just bring your own stuff and set it up on the range. And make sure that when you're shooting, you shoot within the boundaries of the shooting range. For calibers, the rifle range goes up to .338 Lapua. On the handgun range, it's up to .45 caliber. There are no shotguns allowed anywhere. You can't use rifles on the handgun range, and you can't use handguns on the rifle range. So it's pretty simple. Those calibers for the various ranges, 338 and 45, that's based on a template that we get from the government. So it's not something we necessarily decided. That's what we're allowed to do. When you have unattended firearms or during a ceasefire, you're going to open the bolt, take your magazine off if you have one, you'll unload, you'll insert a bolt flag into the chamber, and then you'll store it in the rifle rack. So every position has its own rifle rack. If you have more than 3 or 4 rifles and you can't get them all in the rack, then they should be in the case, and there's a table in the back where you can set them. In this segment, we're going to go over the ceasefire procedure. Remove your magazine, unload your rifle, put the bolt flag in, and put your rifle in the rifle rack. Once all those tables are clear of rifles, then go down to the sign and set it to ceasefire. At that point, everyone can go downrange. Once you're all done downrange and everyone's back, then you can set the sign to range in use, and at that point the range is live and you can start shooting again. It's that simple. In this segment, we'll be going over the procedures for the club handgun range. New to the range this year in 2022, you're allowed to park up at the handgun range. There's expanded parking for maybe 5 cars. Both in the rifle range and at the handgun range, ear protection is mandatory and eye protection is recommended. Once you leave your car, go directly to the safety table. Once at the safety table, take your lock off and uncase your firearm. The point of the safety table is to provide a safe space to make sure your gun is clear. Clear the gun, dry fire it twice if it's a center fire, not needed for a rim fire, and then put it back in the case. You can then proceed to the firing line. Once at the firing line, you have 2 options to use when your handgun is not in use. This would happen during a ceasefire, or if you had more than one firearm, make sure all the other firearms that are not in use are following one of these 2 options. The first option is with a holster. This is for people that are holster certified only. Once you're at the firing line, remove your firearm from the case pointing downrange. Then, slide the action back a few times, confirm it's safe, and dry fire twice if it's a center fire. If it's a rim fire, you don't have to do that step. Then you can holster your sidearm. Remember, when in the holster, you have to ensure that your magazine is off, like in this picture. Now we'll look at the safety procedure when you don't have a holster. To make your sidearm safe, remove the magazine, check that it's clear, and for center fire, dry fire twice. Make sure you insert the bolt flag into your firearm before closing the case. Then close the case. This could be a soft case or a hard case. Make sure it's pointed downrange. Once everyone is safely holstered or flagged in bag, you can now conduct a ceasefire. The range officer will make sure everyone is clear and then declare a ceasefire. To do this, you're going to use the flip sign. Set it to green, and now it's okay to go downrange. Once everyone is done and back at the firing line, you can then set the flip sign to range in use, and the range is now live. In the event that you see some wildlife at the range, during especially the summer and fall, you'll see a lot of deer. Just call a ceasefire and wait for them to get off the range or make some noise. Don't shoot at them, but you can kind of yell at them or something and maybe they'll get off the range. The club uses shot marker systems. These are electronic targets made in Canada. We have 6 specialized frames that we use, and you can also use these for your own personal systems. These are a great alternative to using paper targets. You don't have to call ceasefires when you want to go look at your target. Throughout the year, we run several workshops on how to use these targets, and we do have one club system that you can take out when you want during the week. So keep your eye open for that. Make sure that you always wear your Swiss Rifle Club ID on the APRA property. So before you go through the main gate, make sure you've got your ID on. Somebody from another club might challenge you if they're concerned that you're not a member of the APRA. So make sure you have your ID with you and on. When you're shooting, make sure you put all your spent brass in the blue bins that we provide. So don't leave them lying around. And any other garbage, like targets or banana peels or whatever you got, we have bear-proof bins. So put it all in there. When those bins get full, tie it up and put it in your car. And on the way out, you'll see a dumpster just before the main gate, and throw it in there. There's spare garbage bags in the bottom of the receptacle, so you can just replace it with a new one. Make sure you park in the either upper or lower area. There's a club that's adjacent to us, the Full Bore Club. They have a lot there, so don't park in there. You're going to gum up the works. You can't camp unless authorized by the Swiss Club, so no camping. There's no dirt bikes. There's no quads. If you see damage to the range, make sure you go on our website and report an issue, and you can let us know about it and we'll fix it. We don't expect you to be out there fixing things. If the gong comes off a chain or something like that, we have spare chains and links, so you can fix that on your own. And that's it. Thank you very much.